out in Pickens County? He's from New York. All the rest of those guys were homeboys, and they raised your taxes. Alex said no.
Thank you very much. Is anybody tired of conservatives running in Republican primaries and then getting elected and voting as Democrats? That is the #1 problem that we've got. A few weeks ago, like he said, our county council voted 5-1 to raise property taxes an historic amount to fix roads. None of the 6 of us ran on the platform of we'll fix your roads and pay for it with a record tax increase. Not one of them ran on the idea that we'll fix your roads like the Democrats would. But that's what we got. We're a party that manages budgets. Tax increases are a last resort. We say that. We need to mean it. That means you first look at your budget and you cut waste. You cut excess. You eliminate the low priorities. You put that money towards the new item. Then you look at your new revenue that's coming in. You take a bit of that, you put it towards something that your new item you want to buy. Then you look at all the tax over-collections that have happened and all the savings that you build up, and you put a bit of that towards the item. If you're still short at that point, you consider a tax increase as a last resort. That's what we promise. You just don't jump to the tax hike as the first option. That's what the Democrats do. Unfortunately, too many Republicans do that. Promises matter. If you're running in the primary and you say, I'm not going to do something, when you're elected, you don't do it. If you are running in a primary and you promise to do something, you do it when you get elected. It's that simple. A lot of us forget that, unfortunately. But I can tell you what our biggest problem is in this country. Our republic is at stake. The national government has teamed up with the national media, which is teamed up with the national corporations, national organizations like the ACLU, and they are wanting to create a new national order. And their aim is to promote a national thought or a way to do things that dominate not only government affairs, but every facet of our lives. I wrote about this in the Greenville News in 2015 in an op-ed. I said this was coming down the pike, and guess what? The future is here now.
We're in the abyss.
Donald Trump did his best to fight it. Unfortunately, he was playing by the rules, and the Democrats, they were in anything goes mode to win. He's gone. So with the Democrats now in control of the national government, the national media, national organizations, and national corporations like Google and Nike, that national alliance is going to target the states. In particular, the red states. That's their last line that they got to get through. And then they got everything. Being from one of the reddest states in the Union, South Carolina is on the front line. And our leaders need to do 3 things in this state. 3 things to fight back against this national aggression. 1, we need to support the Convention of States. The states created the federal government to serve the will of the states. That's been turned on its head the last 150 years. We need a balanced budget amendment. Take the money and the center of power out of Washington and put it back in the states where it belongs. And just like the Articles of Confederation, the states must be able to recall their House members and their Senate members when they don't vote the way the states want them to vote.
Yeah.
Second, we need to explore nullification. The states created the federal government. So the states, not the federal courts, but the states, had the final authority on the limit of federal power. If the states determine that an executive order is unconstitutional, they shouldn't follow it.
Yes.
If Congress passes a law that the states think is beyond the authority that the states gave them, they shouldn't follow it. If the Supreme Court has a ruling that the states feel is unconstitutional, they shouldn't follow it. The Founding Fathers would have never ratified the Constitution if they thought Congress could pass a law, the President can sign it, and the courts could rubber stamp it, and the states had no formal check on that process. They would have never ratified the Constitution. The third thing we need to do in this state, in all states, we need to make sure the citizens of this state are proficient in self-defense and using a gun. If the states are going to reassert themselves as the supreme authority in this country, those in Washington are not going to like it. They may turn to force to impose their will on us. If they know citizens are armed and willing to defend their state against federal aggression, they will not choose that route. Deterrence. We're going to learn what the basis of the Second Amendment was. It wasn't about to defend your house or to go hunting. It was about defending your state from federal aggression. If the feds realize that deterrence is there, they will negotiate. And they'll give up some of that excessive power and control that the federal government has, and it's developed over the last century and a half. The bottom line is it's no longer about Bill XYZ in the State House or ABC or whatever. It's about saving our republic, and our state leaders throughout the country have to realize this. They got to get vocal, and they got to get loud and stand against this aggression that is now not only the federal government, but it's the national media, it's these national corporations and these national organizations, and they're all gunning for the states, and we need state leaders to stand strong, see what it is, and defend it. Thank you.